So I want to talk for a minute about a phrase we use at the start of every service, that we want to be a church that is of, by, and for the peoples of many nations. I want to unpack that a little bit. The first thing I want to say is that we're intentional about using the S on peoples. What we mean by that is that we are many different groups within many different nations, so that each nation can be made up of many different peoples, and we recognize that, and we want to take that seriously. And so just as there are sometimes many people groups of the same size and significance, very often there's a power difference among the people groups within a nation, and we want to take seriously all those different connections and groups. We want to be a church that is for. What we mean by being for the peoples of many nations, one way we talk about it is benefit. That we want to be a church that brings benefit to people, many different peoples of many different nations. We want our church to be good for people. We also want to be a church that is of the peoples of many nations. And what we mean by that is we want people to have a strong sense of belonging, that this is a place that is theirs. They belong. It is they're a real part of it. So it's not just something that comes their way, but it is something that that they identify with and see themselves as being an important part of it. To be a church that is by peoples of many nations is maybe best understood by two different things. One is contributing and leading. And so contributing can come in many forms. Leading often has a strong sense of the providing direction and evaluation. So it's not just I'm helpful, but I have the opportunity to have an influence. And so just to circle back and to say that again, that we do want to be a church that is for the peoples of many nations, in that there are people from many different places who receive from what the church does. We want to be a church that is of peoples of many nations, and so another way to think about that is that we love to see how a visitor can become a guest, but then the ideal is that people become family. So it's not just something we do for people. People become a part of who we are. And the idea of contributing, of being a church that is by, we want people to be able to influence and shape who we are. And we want that available to whoever might come. In Christ, we want the peoples of many nations to be able to contribute in this way. And so we think of this on two levels. On one level, we want to be open, and we want not to be resisting. And that's important. We want to be open to people of many nations being involved in leadership, belonging, and receiving. But that's not enough. That we believe we also need to go beyond that, and we want to be intentionally pursuing this. Because we believe that if we don't intentionally pursue it, gravity will pull us back to being a church that's more inclined to a certain group of people, or perhaps we will be for the benefit of many nations, but we will not be as likely to end up having the contributions and leadership of peoples of many nations. And we do this because we believe it's a good thing to do, but we also believe it is a wonderful thing to do. Rich benefits and joy that come to us because of it.